Okay, take a look at, make sure that the green bar is jumping. That means you're getting my audio. Okay, we're ready to start the meeting.
Thank you. I'd like to call the May 22nd, 2018 meeting of the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force Complaint Committee to order. Item 1, please call the roll.
You can call the roll.
On the front of your agenda. So you
Call the names.
You call the roll.
Present.
Pull your mic down. You're not on the mic.
Call Chair testify again.
Call Chair testify.
Just say chair testify.
Member Hinsey.
Present.
Bruce Wolf, not present. Will arrive later.
Yes. Okay. I'm not hearing you on the mic. You sure you turned yours on?
She's on, but she wasn't speaking
I'm
into
on.
the mic.
I'm on.
I'm just not hearing the boom in the room.
Can we say it again?
You don't need to, but I just want to make sure your microphone's on.
I think I'm on.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, there are no agenda changes that I know of, but however, I'd like to suggest that we take items 8 through 11 out of order until Chair Member Wolf arrives. Items number 8 through 10 are not scheduled for hearing today. They're only scheduled for determination of jurisdiction. Item number 8, file number 18031, complaint filed by Patrick Roddy against the San Francisco Fire Department regarding the determination of jurisdiction. Item number 9, file number 18034, complaint filed by Anonymous against the Department of Building Inspection for determination of jurisdiction. Item number 10, file number 18044, complaint filed by Antropo against Dwight Moore and the Office of the City Attorney regarding the determination of jurisdiction. Item number 11 is file number 18046, complaint filed by Antropo against the Arts Commission for determination of jurisdiction.
Do we have a motion to take these items out of order?
Sure. So moved.
I'd like to second that. If we can take that by, or can we take public comment on that agenda change?
The agenda change or the...
This is on the agenda change.
Is there any public comment on that change to the agenda? Seeing none, can we take that by acclamation?
Yes, that motion is passed with Member Hinsey and Tesfa being present and voting aye, and Member Wolf being absent at this time.
Thank you.
Do I call the file number?
I already called them.
Do we have the complainant present for?
No, we're doing jurisdiction only, I think, for 8 through 10.
Regarding items 8 through 11, these are items for determination of jurisdiction. The parties were informed of this meeting, however, they are not required to show up, as we are only determining whether or not this task force has jurisdiction over these departments.
Okay. And I'd like to note for the record that Member Chair Bruce Wolf is here at 5:35. Thank you. Do any of the task force members have any comments about a finding of jurisdiction on these items?
I'll move that since all the departments are in these matters are departments of the city, and I'll move that we find jurisdiction and that the records show in our public.
And to inform Member Wolf, we had made a motion to take items out of order on the agenda. We are first addressing items 8 through 11, which only require findings that we have a determination of jurisdiction, as well as that these documents are public. And so that's what we are taking on at this time. It looks like we have a motion from Member Hinsey for a finding that of jurisdiction and that the documents are public.
Correct.
Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it with a question. Are any of these items controversial?
For these items, we do not have members from the departments present, and so that would make me think that they are not controversial. If they had been, I would assume that they would have sent a representative today.
Okay. And if we can note for the record that they were not present.
Right. Okay.
Yes, I will so note.
Do we have public comment on that motion to find jurisdiction and that these documents are public?
File number 18046 should be amended to read Antrabo against Kate Patterson Murphy of the Arts Commission.
We take a look.
I have a question. Is that how the original intake was?
Originally, it only listed the department. However, I believe we tend to grant the request of the parties if they would like to name a specific individual in that department.
Okay.
However, you could always call me prior to the meeting and take care of that before.
Okay.
Is there any other public comment on that motion?
On that motion, Member Wolf.
Aye.
Wolf, aye. Member Hinsey.
Aye.
Hinsey, aye. Chair Tesfa.
Aye.
Tesfa, aye. The motion passes. Moving back to the beginning of the calendar, item number 2. Would the clerk ledger like to take over at this point? Yeah.
And that would be item number 2.
Approval of the complaint.
Approval of the meeting minutes.
Approval of the April 24th, 2018.
Speak in the mic.
Approval of the April 24th, 2018 Complaint Committee meeting minutes. Any discussion?
Do we have a motion on this item?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the
Second.
April 18th meeting.
Second.
Do we have any public comment on the motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 24th, 2018? Seeing none, can we take this item by acclamation?
Cheryl?
Sure.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Yes.
Acclamation would be just no roll call vote on it.
No roll call vote? Okay.
Okay.
That
Thank you.
means all members have voted yes without objection.
Thank you. If we can call item number 3.
Item number 3, public comment. Members of the public may address the committee on matters that are within the committee's jurisdiction but aren't on today's agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, set the timer. Do you want to do that?
For 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Where's the timer? 5 feet? For the clock. The clock. Oh, okay. 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's great. I attended a Board of Permits and Appeals hearing on April 18th, 2018, because it concerned a portion of the Pioneer Monument, which is in Civic Center, the removal of 1/5 of it called Early Days, which has been in the news and stuff, and I was interested in that type of thing. So after the hearing, there was a break. It was in 416. I was walking this way down the hall to go to the bathroom, and a man approached me in the hallway. He was the previous public speaker on that event. He approached me. He said he was a private investigator. I said, "Oh, really? What's your name? Show me some ID." "I don't need to." "Oh, really?" So I continued walking to the bathroom. He came up to me a second time, and he said he was with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. And I said, "Oh, well, show me your badge, your ID, and what authority do you have in San Francisco?" he went on a rant that he really needed to speak to me, that I was selling stolen goods. I said nothing. I walked back into the hearing room because I felt extremely unsafe. And then the lawyer who won the case, Stephen Schmidt, I saw him in the hallway, so I went out to him and I said, "What is going on here?" Because this man filled out a speaker card at the meeting, his name was Martin Huerta. So he turned out to be the husband of Barbara Mumby, who is employed by the San Francisco Arts Commission. I believe she's a community investment officer. She's the one who's Native American and who's really pushing this thing forward. Huerta is not a private investigator. He's not with the DA's office in Manhattan. He's an out-of-work musician. I found that extremely shocking. I'm still upset by it, and I believe that the Arts Commission are bullies. My written public summary.
Thank you. And Cheryl, can you take that public summary? That she left it right there. You just need to, and then include that in the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Summary will be included in the minutes.
Do we have any other public comment at this time? Seeing none, please call the next item.
Item number 4, file number 17061, complaint filed by Ann Trabeau against the Arts Commission for allegedly violating Administrative Code Sunshine Ordinance Section 67.16 by failing to comply with the Sunshine Ordinance requirements regarding submitted public comment summaries.
Madam Chair, I'd like to just provide a brief background on the matter. At the last meeting of the complaint committee, the matter was continued to the call of the chair. The Arts Commission was requested to review the audio recording of the meeting to determine if Mr. Poe actually was at the meeting and spoke during public comment, and to determine if a 150-word summary was submitted. The Arts Commission did submit a written response to that request on page 85 of your packet. And we did receive an email from the Arts Commission today, approximately an hour before today's meeting, stating that they were unable to attend today's meeting or send a representative.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Bowe, can you give us an update to this item as you see it?
Yes.
Wait,
firstly,
1 second. Do we have the timer, Cheryl?
Apologize.
3 or 5 minutes.
We'll do 3 minutes since it's an update, and then we can also ask questions.
Okay, firstly, this complaint is amended to read Ann Trickey of the San Francisco Arts Commission. That's how the cover page read. Basically, this was a meeting that took place a year ago. An update is that when I got notice of this hearing, because the audio doesn't post online, I sent an email to this Barbara Mumby asking for an appointment to inspect to listen to the audio of this specific meeting. I explained that I was out of town, that I was coming in on the 22nd for this hearing, and I requested it for that day. What I got the next day from an unsigned person was that we can offer you an appointment on the 23rd and the 24th, and that's not convenient because the hearing's today. So on May 18th, these communications come without me doing anything. This person who doesn't sign things claims she sent me an audio link. There was no audio link sent. So on May 19th, an audio link comes. I was at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, which is a major university with a lot of very powerful computers, and I spent hours trying to open whatever this link was, which I could not open at all. There was no assistance given to me by anyone at the Arts Commission. The next request was not published, so I don't know what it was. And again, on May 19th, whoever this person was, reopened the request again and didn't send a link. So there's all that supporting documents. So the issue that I have is this is the second time this thing is up for hearing at the complaint committee. The administrator received notice that the Arts Commission wasn't going to appear. I didn't get notice of it. And the response that they sent, I also did not get a copy of. They claim to have sent the audio to the administrator. I didn't get the audio either. So I'm at a loss here. I'm like the last person to understand what took place.
Thank you.
You can stop the recording. Timer.
Victor, earlier you indicated where in the packet the audio recording was.
There was not an audio file, but there was a response submitted to us on page 85, which basically stated that they reviewed the audio recording and they determined that they do not believe that Mr. Bo was at that meeting and did not submit a 150-word statement.
But they didn't submit the audio recording to us?
I do not believe so, but I cannot guarantee that at this point.
Madam Chair, was the
That was my expectation.
what about the link to the audio?
At the last meeting, they stated that this was not one of the primary meetings of the Arts Commission, and they were not required to post this specific audio link online because it was one of those lower level meetings. But I am just paraphrasing what they told us at the last meeting.
Okay.
My expectation was, I recall them saying that this is not one of the meetings that they post the minutes for, the audio recording, but for the purpose of fact-finding for this case, that they are going to provide a link or an audio recording. There could be a link to an FTP site where they are going to host the audio recording, but they were going to get us the audio recording so we could confirm the facts of this case. So that needs to be noted, and a clarification needs to be sent to the Arts Commission that was what was supposed to happen.
I will make sure that happens, that we actually receive actual audio, or if we have not, that we actually retrieve it.
Okay, because I mean, if they send it, they don't need to be here. We can hear the audio if they still can't send a representative, but in order for us to confirm the facts, that was the whole point of this exercise, was for them to supply the audio recording, not their summary of what they believe happened on the audio recording.
This is discovery.
Okay. My apologies, Ms. Trudeau, that I believe that we're going to need to hold this item until the next meeting because we need, I'm sorry, unless we have those facts, it can't move forward, but that needs to happen.
Mr. Trudeau, please wait to be recognized.
I understand that. But if you or Cheryl could communicate that to the Arts Commission, that's what we need.
We will look into it, and if we do not have it, we will retrieve it.
If they do not send it, then just let them know that we will end up scheduling this to go before the full task force with that they weren't able to provide any evidence that that she wasn't there.
Yes.
We're going to make a motion, and then you'll be able to make a comment on that motion. Do we have a motion at this time?
Move to continue?
Second.
Okay, do we have any public comment on that motion?
Could you repeat the motion, please?
The motion is to continue the item.
Firstly, I have traveled 3,000 miles to make this meeting today. I have made every effort possible to get the audio on my own. They have not noticed me that they will not appear today. They did not send me their response letter, page 85 to 87. They postpone 75% of their hearings because, and I clearly remember what was said on the audio, yeah, I think there are two issues here. A public commenter wasn't in the room, and she was in the room, but I'll get back to you and I'll find out and I'll bring Ann Trickey in here. That was what was said at the last meeting. Here am I once again having to travel across country because they can't get it together. 75% of these hearings are postponed over and over again, waiting for them to get their act together. So I will request on the public record that when the audio finally does come or show up somewhere, that I get a copy of it.
And in order to make the file complete, you stated in your opening statement that you received an email from them that you tried to open at Carnegie Mellon.
I have been at Carnegie Mellon. So,
did you receive an email from them that you tried to open?
No, I got nothing from them.
Okay, what were you doing at Carnegie Mellon with trying to open something? That's what you had stated.
I got
earlier.
notice of a hearing today.
Okay, and then
so I happen to have been at Carnegie Mellon. So I didn't get the audio, so I sent an IDR asking for a copy of the audio. What I got was a list of appointments times to come in to their offices on the 23rd and 24th after today's hearing. I did not. I got some kind of link on May 18th. I don't know what it was.
Okay, what I'm asking is for that, please forward that May 18th email.
It's right here.
But I want it forwarded so that we have the live link. Please forward that to
I think
Mr.
the
Young.
burden is on respondent to
I
do
understand
this.
that, but for Ms. Trudeau, for the completion of the record, we need a copy of that email. Please forward it to Mr. Young. Thank you.
I am not traveling back here in June.
Okay.
Please stop the timer.
Is there any other public comment on that motion?
Yes, I'm Peter Warfield, and I'm not a party to this, not familiar with it. It certainly sounds like par for the course with the Arts Commission. I myself had innumerable problems in the past when the library matters crossed paths with the Art Commission and had a number of complaints in which they were found in violation. They also made every possible kind of, well, maybe not every possible, but they made a huge number of obstacles to my ability to listen, for example, to audio tapes, which at the time were cassettes. They limited the amount of time that I had. They didn't want, presumably, to leave me alone with the tapes. They made all kinds of reasons, excuses, rules that I hadn't experienced from other people who would just say, here's the tape, there's the machine, and have at it. Let us know when you're done. With respect to the tapes, I'm not clear what kinds of requests were made or by whom, but first of all, I don't see the book that has the complaint out on the table. And the other thing is, I think that this book may be incomplete with respect to the ordinance. But there is a requirement that at least an audio recording be made. And that audio recording isn't something they have to search for or create or dig around in some file or consult with anybody. And so the audio tape ought to be very readily available with minimal obstacles to access. And it seems to me that maybe there's a violation of the accessibility of an audio tape, which under the law, and I cannot quote you chapter and verse here, I'm sure you can do that better than I can at this point, it's supposed to be available. My recollection is I won a complaint against the library quite some years ago over audio tapes, audio recordings, if you like, because on a Thursday night meeting at the Library Commission, I wanted to come in on a Friday and listen to the tapes that had been recorded in the same building and had been stored in the same building, and they made some excuse, the library did, about, well, we can't have the original and so on and so forth. Of course, actually, I'm entitled to the original document, but they didn't want to do it, and the Sunshine Ordinance found them in violation. They should have had that tape accessible in the same building. It wasn't coming from a distance and so on. So it seems to me that there may be something that you can find in violation, or I don't think she should have to at this point. Why isn't the tape immediately available? They made it. They've got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment at this time? Seeing no public comment, can we call the roll on this motion?
Calling the roll for file number 17061. Member Hinsey?
Aye.
Member Tesfaye?
I'll be last.
Member Wolf?
Aye.
Member Tesfaye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay. Call the next subject.
Please call the next item.
Okay. Item 5, file number 17126, complaint filed by Ann Trabeau against Sharon Page Ritchie and the Arts Commission for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Sunshine Ordinance, Section 6716 by failing to make minutes available no later than 10 working days after the meeting.
Just a note on the history of this matter. This matter was scheduled at our last meeting. However, we determined that we had jurisdiction, but we did not proceed with the hearing on the complaint due to time constraints.
Thank you. Please give Ms. Trabeau 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. Ready?
Okay, no, not quite.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Trabeau.
It's not going to work. Okay, this is a clear violation of 6716. I'm quoting from the section of that ordinance. Draft minutes of each meeting shall be available for inspection and copying upon request no later than 10 working days after the meeting. The officially adopted minutes shall be available for inspection and copying upon request no later than 10 working days after the meeting in which the minutes were adopted. So this meeting was a particularly interesting meeting because it concerned the Pioneer Monument out there. November 6th, it was a full commission meeting that took place in City Hall. So here you have on page 98 confirmation that on November 27th, the minutes still had not posted. That is over 10 business days. I did not get the letter, page 99 to 100. Well, I was not copied on this letter. This is the first time that I'm seeing it. It doesn't pertain to the section of minutes being made available 10 business days after the meeting. I don't know what is Exhibit A and B because they're not marked. I don't know. I filed this complaint on November 20th, and suddenly on the 21st, the commission secretary does not copy me. She copies the task force and other Arts Commission employees with a link. Why didn't she tell me about this link? I don't know. I was tracking this online from 72 hours after the meeting posted until I filed the complaint. No minutes ever posted. They did not go up and go down the way she alleges. And you had the ID department in here within the past year noting about this next request system and yada, yada, yada. And I asked them directly on the public record, has the Arts Commission ever contacted you? And I was told no. They are right across the street. There is no reason for this type of confusion. This is a clear violation of 6716. And also you see on page 102, Sharon Page Ritchie on the 30th sends a thing to the Department of Technology, but doesn't copy me. So I'm kind of left in limbo waiting for these things to post online to see what kind of documents show up. This is not the first time it's happened. The Arts Commission has a long-standing history of violations of not posting meeting minutes in a timely fashion. This is a full commission meeting taking place in City Hall. It's not a lower-level meeting by any means, and it was a particularly important one because it concerns the Pioneer Monument. So I think the fact that I was not told that they're not going to be here today, they haven't given you a reason why they're not here, they've come up with some filmy excuse that makes no sense, and here you have clear proof of one of the many violations of the late postings of the minutes. Many. Okay, bye.
Do any of the members have any questions for the complainant? It appears to me that we have the information in the record. Looking at the letter from the Arts Commission, they concede that this did occur. They placed the responsibility of it, kind of on IT. This was a technical anomaly. That's something that the full task force can consider. How do we address something like that? But I think at this time, we have all of the facts about what occurred and that we could move this item forward to the full task force. I'm not sure if I want to make a recommendation of violation or not violation. I'm not sure how the task force would look at these technical issues and the best way to address them. But I do believe that we've been provided with all of the facts to move this item forward.
I'll make the motion to move item 617. Which item are we on?
That's file number 17126.
Yep. File number one, up to the full task force for hearing without a recommendation.
Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Do we have any public comment on that motion? Seeing no public comment, please call the roll.
On that motion, Member Hinsey.
Aye.
Hinsey, aye. Member Wolf.
Aye.
Wolf, aye. Chair Tesfa.
Aye.
Tesfa, aye. That motion passes without objection. Next on the agenda, please. Microphone.
Next on the agenda, item number...
Before we move forward, was there any kind of technical issue going on with the last item that we need to address?
We were not being broadcast to the rest of the building, and that was corrected.
Okay, but the audio has been recorded
Yes.
for future. Okay, great. Thank you.
Item number 6, file...
Didn't disappear.
What?
It didn't disappear from my screen.
It was working on our side. However, there was some...
Why should we be concerned about that?
We really shouldn't. It's just...
I didn't know what was going on.
No. Why should we be concerned if it's being broadcast throughout the rest of the building?
Oh, I don't know.
That's of no concern to us. They're not willing to broadcast it publicly, so I wouldn't try to fix anything at this point. We can see it.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on.
Item number 6, file number 18030, complaint filed by Patrick Roddy against the San Francisco Police Department for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Sunshine Ordinance, Section 67.21 by failing to respond to a public records request in a timely and or complete manner.
Just to provide a little history, I believe the Compliance and Amendments Committee heard portions of this, a related case 1 week ago regarding the larger issue of regarding whether or not the state should be providing it or the city department should be providing it. However, that is unrelated to this specific request, but I just wanted to let you know that we did have additional discussions, and we heard this similar complaint against other departments, just for your information.
And which departments? Oh, yes, I remember now, actually. Thank you. Mr. Roddy, can you give him 5 minutes, please?
Yes, I will. Go ahead.
Hello again. How are you? Patrick Roddy, for anyone who's just listening for the first time. So this is one of the 5 requests that I made in response to the block that I got from Department of Public Health, asking all city departments who, are you aware of any deaths? Are they recorded anywhere? So this first one's the police. And I know they're aware of deaths because they have a homicide department, for starters. And they haven't, well, they've said, oh, we got it late, and they haven't responded. There's nobody here. And that's sort of open and shut, really, if we can just move it up to the next, up to the committee, I suppose.
The representative is here.
Oh,
she's right there.
Oh, my apologies. So, what I asked for was when, in the course of a police officer's duties, did he or she find a person who was deceased? And if so, what was the time and date of those? Or someone... I'm not sure if the police have paramedics who can declare on the scene. And I was looking for communications from on the scene to central dispatch. They must have codes. I mean, 187 apparently is one that gets used. See it in movies and stuff. So there's got to be a record somewhere of when people die. How's that transferred? And I'd like to get that, please. So that's pretty much it.
And so you're looking just for a record of how people who have been declared deceased are
Not
transferred.
how, when. I just need the times. I'm looking for how many people died on each day, so I can match it from my data.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Can the respondent please approach?
Please reset the timer.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Catherine Walland on behalf of the San Francisco Police Department. We received a notification from the Sunshine Committee on April 3rd that we had been named as a respondent. Attached to that notification was a letter from... See, sorry, I don't have. I'm relying on your file. So all the documentation that we have is what's contained in the Sunshine.
I believe a copy of
Task
that
Force.
letter is on page 143.
143. Okay. So there's an email sent by Patrick Roddy on Friday, March 30th to the Sunshine Task Force saying that he's filing a complaint against the police department for failing to respond to his public records request. He says that he mailed something on February 26th. Attached to that was a letter. We have never received this letter at Legal Division. The header on the letter says it's going to the Custodian of Records, San Francisco Police Department, 850 Bryant. The police department has moved buildings, I believe, in 2015. We moved over to 3rd Street. I don't know. We called the mailroom to see if there was any. He does provide a certified mail number. We called the mailroom to see if they had any record of signing for any letter like that. They did not. We've still not received it. May 22nd, so it hasn't been lost anywhere and then forwarded to us that we have not received that letter. And we got the notification from the Sunshine Commission. He says he's requesting the dates, times, and unique record IDs of all reports to San Francisco Police Department Dispatch, and also all reports regarding a San Francisco Police Department dispatch in which a paramedic or someone else pronounced death. The San Francisco Police Department is not the custodian of records, nor do we operate a dispatch. That's DEM. At the time when we got the complaint, we immediately provided a letter directing him to DEM. They are the custodian of records for dispatch records. We do not man dispatch. It's the Department of Emergency Management. So its SOPD does not have a dispatch to provide records from. So that response was sent, looks like on April 5th. We received it April 3rd. We responded April 5th. So the San Francisco Police Department would assert that we provided a timely response, and we provided a direction for the custodian of the requested records. I guess
Thank
that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Do the members have any questions for the complainant or the respondent?
I do. I'm looking through this record. I'm looking for the hour intake form.
It was just a letter from Mr. Roddy located
That's on page 143.
Yes, on page 142. Well, that was the letter from Mr. Roddy to the task force.
Okay.
And then he attached the following letter on page 143.
Okay, Mr. Roddy, I have a question. You state here in your letter to us, by failing to respond to my public records request in a timely manner or complete manner, SF Police Department has violated San Francisco Administrative Code Sunshine Ordinance Section 6721. Is your complaint for timeliness?
If that gets into the task force, yes. I want the records.
I understand that, but
Right.
if your complaint is on timeliness,
Well, on timeliness and incomplete, I didn't get the records. The police department do have records of deaths. They have a homicide department.
no, I understand that,
Yeah.
but specifically with regards to the ordinance itself,
Timely and complete, I'm asking.
timely and or complete.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Do you have any more questions for the complainant or the petitioner or the respondent? No?
No.
Member Hinsey? Do we have a motion at this time?
Move to find, was this first time here?
We have not found jurisdiction
Okay,
yet.
so I move to find jurisdiction and that the information is public and to send it up to the task force.
Second.
Do we have any public comment on that motion?
San Francisco Police Department would just like to comment that we are not the custodian of the records. We provided the response as soon as within 2 days of receiving it. We don't maintain the records that were requested, so we'll be unable to provide them. We don't maintain them.
Can I respond to that for a moment?
Sure.
Okay. Just so you know, the purpose of this committee is just to find more or less whether the information is public, so it's within our jurisdiction, and to resolve that it's within our jurisdiction. That's a requirement that we have under the ordinance. We're not here to make any ruling or any judgment. We're here just to do discovery, to make sure we have all the records and all the documents and all the information so that the task force has that in advance as much as possible. The task force will make the final decision on determination.
So in this case, he was talking about timeliness in the complaint, and so we have records that show the timing that the task force can look at whether there is a violation or not. We have the information here about what was produced and what was not produced. And so the task force can look at that. But we're looking to make sure that there aren't any missing facts that the task force would need. And we believe that, well, we're about to take the vote, but we're determining that all of that information is there so that they can fully look at this case. Thank you. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Just to restate, this is a matter to find jurisdiction that the matter is public and to refer to the task force for hearing. Thank you. And we have already taken public comment, so we can take roll at this time.
Please call the roll.
Member Hinsey?
Aye.
Member Wolf?
Aye.
Chair Tesfa?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, the ayes have it.
The motion passes with no objection. Please read the next item, 7.
Number 7, file number 18025, complaint filed by Patrick Roddy against the Department of Emergency Management for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Sunshine Ordinance, Section 67.21 by failing to respond to a public records request in a timely and or complete manner.
Mr. Young, did you receive any communication from the Department of Emergency Management about their attendance today?
I did not receive any communication regarding attendance at today's meeting. They did provide a written response to the complaint. I believe that is on page 165. Actually, I would say 168.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, in that range.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that was page 168.
It starts on 167, I believe.
Okay. Got it.
You can see an email there. Okay.
I got it.
Thank you. What's your last name? Pardon? Ms. Lachey, can you set the timer for 5 minutes for the petitioner?
Okay, so Department of Emergency Management, I asked them for, again, finding out when the deaths were, because they run central dispatch. They have, when the public call in, there's a system that they use, and on the basis of 911 calls, they will determine whether it's a medical emergency. They will find out if there is a person there who is breathing or not. And on the basis of that, they will route the call either to fire dispatch or police dispatch or both. And on their website, there's actually, you can see there's a touch screen where they can just actually choose the different codes, and that is stored somewhere. And I also wanted to get calls from officers on calls, with the codes. Looks like there's a dead guy here, or this person is dead. I don't want to be flippant about it. And they pretty much said, oh, it's too hard. Sorry. And that's pretty much the reading I get from it. Overly voluminous and ask the fire department. By the way, our next thing is about the fire department. They say, oh no, ask the Department of Emergency Management. So, as expected, I'm getting the runaround. So I did not get my records within 10 days, and timeliness and completion of records would be the thing we should go on. And note they didn't show up.
Thank you. Do members have any questions? Do members have any questions for the complainant? I have a question. So I was looking at the request, and that they mentioned that the fire department may have a way to capture this data. Have you filed a request with the fire department?
That's the next item. And they say, ask the Department of Emergency Management.
Right. And then the second part of the request, where they provide the data based upon codes that they use to capture the criteria listed. Did they provide you with anything? Because they're saying
they said it was they just said, oh, it's too voluminous. We're not going to do anything. Too difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you avail yourself when it said we are able to provide printouts
At 10 cents a copy, that's a violation of the Sunshine Ordinance.
Right, but did you?
No.
Okay, so you didn't avail yourself of that
No.
service.
What's a violation of the Sunshine Ordinance?
Records should be, it says if there's a record, they must give it to you in electronic media. If you provide it for that, provide it to them, they should give it to you for free. It's in the ordinance.
You okay?
You want to ask a question?
Do you have a question? No? Okay.
No? Okay.
But the ordinance does state that there's a if it's not in, they state that they don't process requests through email.
This isn't email.
Well, hold on, let me finish. You're asking for electronic documents.
I am.
So if they were to send it by email, then it would have to be made into an electronic document. So if they don't do email, then it's only in hard copy.
It is not, because they have computers, and it says in the ordinance you can supply them with media, and they must put it on the media. That's part of the ordinance.
But if they don't do that, that's not part of their process. The ordinance states that it's not if they don't have a way to if the document isn't readily available in a current format, they're not required to create a brand new format or a brand new way of or a brand new document that doesn't already exist. That would be an additional charge that could be beyond 10 cents per page. So, for instance, if you had asked for a specific kind of search with a specific kind of query, the labor, the time, and effort to actually do that query, which doesn't exist currently, could be charged an additional fee from the city. That's the way the ordinance is written. It's meant for records that are currently available, that are readily available. Now, granted, if there is a log that is part of a database, and you're asking for a specific period of time to be printed out, that's one thing. But they specifically said that they do not receive or process requests for service through email. So the question is, if they don't process the production of this information through email, but they'll do it through some other means, like printing it out, then that is still within the confines and the compliance with the ordinance. That's the way we have the task force has ruled in the past.
Oh, they have?
Yes.
Because they will generate this by printing out from a computer. And the ordinance says if you give them media, they put it on there, and there's no charge.
No, that they may be able to provide the items on an electronic media at no charge. Doesn't mean the question then becomes the production of the actual information.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but it sounds to me when I read their letter that is their policy to only give printouts. Whether they're able to or not is something the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force should determine.
Okay, very good.
I think.
So I'd like to make a motion at this time to move this item to go before the full task force. The complaint here was filed under 67.21 for responding to public records requests in a timely and or complete manner, and I believe that we have all of the pieces of information needed to make that determination. We can see when the petitioner filed the request, and we see the response that was sent to him by the Department of Emergency Management, where they stated, the reasons why they wouldn't respond or how he could get printouts. And so I think we have all of the facts at this time to move this item forward for full determination.
Would you like to make a recommendation?
I would not like to make a recommendation. As we just heard from the back and forth with Member Wolf, there are some specific issues here that I think the full task force will need to discuss in order to really make a determination.
I'll second that with, if I could ask you to agree to amend this, that in the interest of not taking up too much time with the task force, I'm anticipating that whoever they send may not have adequate technical knowledge of their system, and that we request presence of somebody who has specific technical knowledge with regards to the system that holds this data and how it operates with regards to searches and printouts.
I accept that amendment to my motion.
You want me to go ahead and make that motion?
I've already made the motion, so
Okay.
it's okay, but thank you. Do we have any public comment on that motion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Member Hinsey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Member Wolf?
Aye.
Chair Tesfaye?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it.
That motion passes without objection.
Thank you.
We have already determined jurisdiction on 8 through 11. I do not believe that Mr. Roddy was here when we discussed that, but I just wanted to note that your other item was scheduled only for determination of jurisdiction because we had a full agenda.
Okay.
And we couldn't get all your items on.
That's fine. That's cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
There were several items that were withdrawn at the last minute. That's why the agenda is so short today.
Thank you. Please call item number 12.
Item number 12, announcements, comments, questions, future agenda items, and pending calendar by members of the committee.
Are there any announcements?
I would just ask the administrator, with regards to the full task force, are we needing to use the time from the complaint committee in a future date?
I have polled the members of the task force for June and July. However, availability is a problem for most of the members, so I don't believe it is a possibility at this time.
And is there any word from either the president of the Board of Supervisors or the chair of the Rules Committee as to when they will take up appointments?
I have not received any new information.
Okay, thank you.
It's on their radar, and they have
I
a
know
large
they're
list of
busy,
items, and they're just picking and choosing from that list at this time. Their next meeting is Police Commission, and there was no room for us.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You can take public comment if you would like.
Before that, do we have any comments on future agenda items or pending calendars by members? I know Victor sent out the poll, so okay. Can we take public comment on item 12?
Actually, it's not strictly on item 12. I was a bit unsure in the concept on agenda item 8, the fire department. Is that being moved to another thing, or
Now that we have
or
found...
it was merged into the Department of Emergency Management one?
No.
Or- sorry.
So items 8 through 11 were on the agenda only to find a determination of jurisdiction on that complaint, that we should hear it, and that the documents are public. We made that finding at the beginning of the meeting in case we ran out of time, and we, by statute, would need to have found jurisdiction and that the documents are public by a certain date. So we went ahead and took care of that, and those will be calendared for
good,
a
yeah.
future meeting,
Cool.
and you'll be given notice of that, Mr. Reddy.
Thank you. And there's a thing here. I'm not sure who
We
that.
will take care of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 13.
Go ahead.
Move to adjourn.
Read that in.
Well, that was quick.
Item 13 is adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. We'll take that by acclamation.
The meeting is adjourned. Please turn off all devices. Recorder first. Please stop the recording.
Oh, Cheryl,
Cheryl,
the
stop
recording
the
is right
recording.
down there. Down here.
Oh, down here.
Thank you.